This is the Stockwell Roueche Show, giving you real-time information you need to make educated decisions about buying and selling in the world-renowned Twin Cities. Now your hosts and real estate experts, Jason Stockwell and Josh Roueche.
To buy new or not to buy new? That is the question of the day. Good morning. You're listening to the Stockwell Roueche Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with RE/MAX Results.
Josh Roueche, RE/MAX Advantage Plus.
Wow, what a lot has happened this week. A lot going on nationally. There's a lot of stuff going on with Thanksgiving, holidays, winter, storms, you name it.
Here it comes.
Tons of stuff is happening. Everything's crazy right now. So why would you buy a new house right now? That's the question of the day. So today we have a great
full
guest
house
here. We have a partner with Marketplace Mortgage, Ryan Yardley. How you doing, Ryan?
Great.
Yard dog.
Great.
Ryan Yardley's here. Thanks so much. He's going to be talking about some of the options for buying homes and how you do that financially. And we have an awesome guest here who is a builder with Felicity Homes, Justin Leach. How you doing, Justin?
Doing well, thank you.
He got to take a little time off here from the job site to come and talk and share his knowledge and skill set with you. We're very happy to have Justin here. And, of course, Robin Hartle, home-time host for 12 years with Dean Johnson and the Little Giant Stepladder spokesperson. Robin Hartle, how you doing?
I'm great. How are
And
you?
RE/MAX Results Realtor.
Yeah.
So, guys, what's going on with new construction? Why would we buy new construction? We'll dive into that. First, go over numbers. Josh, what's happening in the market as far as statistics? Do you have anything?
Yeah, I've got a few statistics. I'm just going to go over new home construction since the show's about new home construction.
There we go.
Let's talk about new home construction pending sales from this year to last year. Pending sales are down. We're down 61%.
How much?
61. Well, these are for price level. So anything below 120 and below, we're down 61%. Anything from 250 to 350, we're down 17.7%, and then $1 million and above, we're up actually 22.1%. So you're seeing larger end homes being built versus the small end.
Yeah, and that's partly affordability, and that's what we
Right.
talked about last week, is why now would be a good time to buy versus
That's probably messing
next
with the
year
numbers a little bit.
because of the numbers.
Right.
I'm reading here from what analysts predict for next year. They said interest rates will climb further.
Yep.
Next year. They say home price gains will slow even more, and home sales and housing starts will actually accelerate from the new construction standpoint, and home purchase mortgages will gain an even greater share, but total originations will fall. And they get into details on a lot of these
Because of the
things.
price points. I'm just looking at here, too.
A lot of mixed information in that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's good, keep going, but the rates are going to climb. But, so we're here to cut through all that and tell you exactly what's going on. Starting with Ryan. What's going on? Ryan Yardley, Marketplace Mortgage. What's happening in the world right now of lending?
Well, again, Ryan Yardley, Marketplace Home Mortgage, licensed mortgage originator, state of Minnesota, NMLS ID number 1114522. Compliance.
Compliance.
Yep.
Good job.
Everyone's lawyers are happy. So interest rates are expected to climb. Well, that should be no surprise, I suppose. Their interest rates have been phenomenal, and they're expected to climb some. I think we've all been predicting that. We're talking about, new construction, and new construction and higher price points. We're generally talking, I see a lot of jumbo product, a lot of jumbo loans.
Right.
Jumbo loans have been really aggressively priced this year. A couple of years ago, they were brutal and hard to get. Then all of a sudden, they got easy to get. I expect that will kind of continue, that jumbos will be in favor. So you can borrow $800,000-$900,000 in the fours. There's a lot of aggressive arms. There's good fixed product. I guess one tip about new construction, and Robin will probably talk about this eventually today, is cost overruns and to be prepared. So you want to get approved to buy a home. You want to be approved comfortably on new construction and have some room to go, because when the missus is out picking out things, I've been on these trips, the sink that was $300 is now $900, and there's some cool hammered copper this and rubbed oil that, and and the next thing you know, you're 100,000 over, or so, depending upon size of home. But anyway, so one of the things, getting pre-approved for mortgage and watching the rates, finding out those programs. A big thing about the jumbo product is the credit scoring, and every 20 points of credit score can make a big impact on your rate. That's something that I ran into over the last year, working with some folks actually on new construction. I'm just thinking about the transactions over the last year. And you want to get to your lending person early. You want to talk to them about that. You want to learn about financing on new construction, and you want to look at and get your credit score as high as possible. And it's something that we can help with at Marketplace Home Mortgage.
Sweet. So part of the reason, too, that might be attributed to another article here talks about home flipping drops to 5-year low. So there's a lot of factors going on here in the new construction marketplace. No new construction for so long, pent-up demand, cheaper money, interest rates are lower, and a workforce that was hungry to work and now is actively at work. And we're in Minnesota here, Minneapolis, we're one of the lowest in unemployment. So a lot of people are working and actually some of the problems we're going to get into in new construction is the work finding the labor, right? That's one of the problems that we've seen. So there's less flipping going on. So those people that were flipping homes, buying foreclosures and rehabbing them and selling them now are shifting their funds and shifting their efforts into new construction. So you've got some people filling the demand that's there by creating product for that. So last week I wanted to follow up with Robin because she had a teaser out there. Robin Hartle had a teaser about why you should buy now and why it'll be more expensive next year to buy your new home. We alluded to the rates. That could be an issue. Robin Hartle, why else? What are other reasons why people should buy now new construction instead of waiting?
Well, there's an article, in Builder Magazine. Builder Magazine is alluding to the price of gypsum and drywall, and they're saying that the prices are going up what they're, quote unquote, big time. And
so very specific on that, it looks like.
Yeah,
very
big time.
Very specific on that. And also the American Institute of Architects is also indicating that construction costs are also rising. Lumber, plywood, and gypsum prices were up at a double-digit pace over a certain period. So, and insulation materials up almost as much. So construction costs are going up, and you talked about workers. We are seeing a lot of our labor force went to the Dakotas. And these guys
good
are
point.
Oil boom.
We lost a lot of workers to the Dakotas. And home builders and non-residential building contractors are reporting difficulties filling positions. And that's according to the American Institute of Architects. And you talk to any builder, and they are really struggling finding really quality workers out there. And then when they find good people, they can't keep them for very long. So and then these guys that are good quality workers are looking to get quite a bit of money. So they got to pay these people to stay around. And so when they have to pay these people to stay around, then that cost is passed on to the people that buy the homes.
So there's a couple of reasons why buying now would be a good idea. So if you're out there, you're thinking about a new home, you have a lot going on, a lot politically going on in the world. There's a lot of stuff going on with storms and the weather. There's a lot of stuff going on with the holidays. There's a lot of stuff going on end of the year with your work, with your family. But if you have the ability, if you're listening and you have the ability to buy and you're thinking of buying, but you're going to put it off till next year, I would
Game plan.
say, and my opinion is, do it now. I'm seeing
Right.
builders that have a product that's done right now are flexible. We talked about this
Pricing,
last week.
right.
With the flexibility, with the inventory that's there, you'll have more leeway and more cushion and probably get a better deal than you will next year based on the interest rates, based on the numbers, based on the cost. This is the Stockwell Roueche Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
Josh Roueche, Remax Advantage Plus.
Justin Leach, our special guest with Felicity Homes. Justin, I've known you for a little while. You're actually working on a project with me right now, so we're still friends. That's good.
Thus far.
Justin's a great guy, honest guy. You know, he's got a 715 phone number, so that tells me he's in Wisconsin, which usually,
It's just not
even though I
good.
don't like
It's
the
the Badgers.
Packers, I could usually trust them when it comes
They're
to
the
work.
Badger, right?
So, Justin, what's happening in Nuke Building? What's some things that you can tell people that might help them should they be considering new construction?
Well, I got a couple things. To play off of Robin's points, labor is really tough right now. We got people going to North Dakota. We also have commercial construction picking up, and with that, the unions are looking for labor.
Well, the stadium was a huge project, and tons of other
Exactly.
roadwork projects all over the place.
Yep. So our subcontractors are losing labor to the unions, and the guys that don't leave expect that wage.
Oh,
And
yep.
that's crazy.
Because they could go there if they
Exactly.
wanted to. Yep.
Yep. So we have that coming in for cost. Materials are always costly. They're always going up, it seems like. You know, you look at the graphs, they show that they're going down, but really I've never really seen them go down. So we got that. And then the other big thing is the international basically it's the code system that we live by for building new construction.
Building code. Yep.
Yep, there's going to be a big reform coming up here, and those reforms are for energy and for safety. So for the energy aspect, they're looking for new insulation requirements, new HVAC requirements. So that's really to keep that energy in. You know, we got these cold winters coming around,
Yep.
so hopefully we can save you money doing that, and that's what the councils that make these codes are trying to do, but it's going to be costly on the upside.
Right.
So
those are some of the factors that you have to consider going into the future of new construction. There has been, as we talked about, a huge demand that was because there was no new construction for such a long time, but there's been a huge pent-up demand. But now the demand is being fulfilled by builders like Justin Leach with Felicity Homes. If you have a question for him in regards to new construction, or you may want him to build a home for you or give you a bid, he actually does you do remodels as well, right? You're a full
That's
general
correct.
contractor,
Yep.
so you can
Yep.
do anything. 715 is his phone number. Starts with 715, and don't think that's a negative. It's a positive because he's trustworthy.
And we're playing the Packers this week.
715 text new NEW to 715-441-7922. 715-441-7922. That's Justin Leach, Felicity Homes. Felicity, what does that mean?
it's
Why put-
happy.
Happy.
Happiness.
Felicity
Happy
means happy,
homes.
really. It does.
Aw.
So direct translation, Happy Homes, Justin Leach. We'll be back. We'll talk with some tips on what to do that can help you buy, and we'll talk more about the marketplace and what new construction has in store for you at the end of the year here. You're listening to the Stockwell Roueche Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
Josh Roueche, Remax Advantage Plus.
Turkey for you. Let's eat the turkey in my big brown shoe. Love to
Welcome
eat
back to the
turkey.
Stockwell Roueche Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results. A little Thanksgiving humor here. and
Josh
music.
Roueche with Remax Advantage Plus.
So we're going to give you the real deal right now after that song. No. The real deal here. I'm going to offer. So we're back with our special guest, Robin Hartle, home time host with Dean Johnson, Little Giant spokesperson, Ryan Yardley, Marketplace Mortgage, talking about financing new construction, and Justin Leach with Felicity Homes, Happy Homes, here
Happy Homes.
talking to you. And we want to give you the real deal on new construction so that you're not, because when you go and you're being sold something, you
Right.
go into a car place, you go in anywhere, you just
There's
don't
fees.
know what's going
Right.
on underneath. Are you telling me the real number? Is that what's going on? So we got to get down to what goes on internally. How does a builder make money? How do they make more money? Can they take advantage of consumers? How do they do that if they can do that? And what to watch out for you out there if you're going to consider home construction. So I would offer 5 tips. I'm going to offer these and we can discuss these, guys, as we did on break here, guys and gals. 5 tips for you out there if you're considering new construction. And number 1 is something that we always hear us say as realtors. Location, location, location. Very, very important. Very important. Number 2, builder credibility. Can you trust this builder? Will they be around? Are they going to give you the shaft? Are they going to overcharge you by 25% on certain things? That's number 2. Number 3, correct financing. If you do not do the correct financing, or you get sucked into some financing that sounds good up front, but it may cost you thousands and thousands of dollars in the long run. That's something that's very important. And change orders would be number 4. And maybe Justin can get into that a little bit more about how that you want to minimize your change order. That's a prime opportunity to make some money for the builder and have you be paying more. And number 5, all these are very, very important. Number 5 is very important as well. Get an agent. Have a qualified agent represent you. The builder's great. We love builders. We work with them. They love us. You go right to the builder. They're going to be your friend. But you probably aren't going to save any money. You may even pay more money, believe it or not. So here we go. Number 1, location, location, location. Number 2, builder credibility. Number 3, correct financing. Number 4, eliminating change orders. Number 5, find an agent that can actually help you. So let's talk about those. Who wants to go? Robin, Justin, Ryan. What do you got on these?
Well, location. A lot of builders will go out there and they will find. They can save a lot of money by finding a lot in maybe a bad location, maybe a location where there's a wetland, maybe there's there's some kind of a bad mojo with that lot.
They got a deal on the land for some reason or another, right?
Yeah, they got a really good deal on that lot, and so they're saving a lot of money on that lot, and then they can build on that lot, and then have a really
that's a good
expensive
point on
home.
lots.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, limitations. The lots come with limitations.
Exactly.
And that's the part. So if you go out and you look at this lot, you don't understand where it can be built, what can be built. You have the idea of what you want, and then you get into it and you find out, or the builder isn't exactly on top of what their game is, and they haven't done the proper studies, and the next thing you know, they can't get a permit for the house that you just designed with their designer because it won't. The footprint won't go right. And I've seen that. I've been out where I've seen that.
Yeah.
So kind of the earlier point, and a really big deal here with this is to find a realtor who has worked with and done and been involved in the new construction process, because the builder might be the greatest guy in the world, like we talked about, and we like builders, but they are not always the greatest communicators. And so you want to make sure that you've got your plan and you know what you're doing, and you have this conversation with the realtor, because they're going to be able to communicate with the builder better about what your actual plans and desires are, and you're probably going to help with communication.
I got one thing to play off that too. There's a lot of builders that they just want to get you to sign on the dotted line. And a lot of these lots, they have soil issues that need soil correction. I got a buddy that bought one recently that was on an old landfill in Minneapolis. And so it's really important to get a realtor that knows to do the due diligence on that lot before you pick it up.
Yeah. Yep. And realtors that know the area.
Yep.
So, make sure that you get a realtor. If you are buying in Edina, get a realtor that knows Edina, that knows
the builders in Edina, probably knows what
the
styles to
Edina.
go for and everything like
Sure.
that.
Exactly.
Question for you, Justin.
Yep.
How do builders make money? Obviously building the house, but realtors, we get commission. It's pretty easy. There it is, right in front of you.
Yep.
Staring in the face. Oh my gosh, the realtor's making money on me or on this house. We know exactly what it is. We don't see your guys' numbers. We don't see the real underneath numbers. What's going on there, and how can you give the listeners out there, the people out there that may be buying new construction, some tips on what to look for, what to ask
and what
for,
questions to ask,
and what might help them?
Yeah, so right off the bat, one of the ways they make it, they usually tack on like 10% onto the cost, and it says that's my income. But there's really hidden income in there. They'll fluff their numbers. So the concrete might cost $20,000 on a house, but they're really making it $23,000, so they're getting that extra $3,000 bump. So they'll hide numbers in there, and a way to avoid that, or really to dig down deep, is to say, hey, I want to see the actual contractor's bids. So I want to see Drew Concrete's bid from this. I want to see the lumber company's bid. So you can break it down, and then you can get an apples-to-apples comparison. Because a lot of builders, they'll say, here's your package. It's a $500,000 package, and that's what you get, kind of thing. Right. And you really need to break that number down to see what you're getting.
and some of you may not be as concerned about every little penny, but a lot of people are wondering. So if you're one of the buyers who says, I just want the house, then buy a spec house. What I mean by spec house is buy a house that's already been built, that wasn't custom built for someone, because those, the builders, believe it or not, my understanding of a build and new construction is that customization costs more. So if I go in and get a lot and pick the house and pick everything else out, and I'm working directly with the builder, I'm probably going to pay more than I would for a spec house that's been sitting there for 60 days, and they want to get rid of it, and the financing is on it and ready to go.
Then you're going to add on builder costs on each product that you choose, too. Just
and
like
in a spec home, the builder already has a list of materials and stuff, but if you want to go and pick out your paints and pick out your faucets, that all takes time. Yep. And then in addition
so that's
to
what
that,
you're paying for.
Right,
the time,
you're
getting
paying
the
for
stuff.
the time. Exactly.
But it is yours then exactly how you wanted it, but you're going to pay for that, just so you understand that.
And you're usually buying from suppliers, like a plumbing one, for example, is Ferguson. And that builder's paying maybe $20 for the faucet, but he's saying, that faucet actually costs $60 or $80.
So there's even little things like faucets you can get in doorknobs and stuff like that. There's add-ons for all that along the way, right?
And the suppliers are loyal to the builder because the builder is the one that buys it all the time. So they're not going to give you the pricing.
Got it. So
and Yardley.
One interesting thing to do is a little out-of-the-box idea is you're looking at new construction, you're looking at the builders, you're kind of, vying between them. One thing to do is you can figure out, like, what's something really important to you in this house? Is it the woodwork? Is it the chimney fireplaces? Is it the stonework? Is it the concrete? It's like 3 things that are really important to you that you're all about in this house. Ask the builder, who are your subs that do this work? And then interview them. And ask them, how long have you worked for this guy? Well, how much of this? And then you can get an idea. If they're all brand new subs.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's a big tip to the guy burns his subs. See, so is the builder reputable, and do the subs like them? Because you know what? And you find builders that have great relationships with their subcontractors, there's a good long relationship, and that sub's probably going to come back and fix or tweak something that's wrong if there's a mistake. So big tip from me is to check on and have a conversation with some of the subs doing the work that's important to you, because that's going to give you a good insight as to the relationship with the builder.
What about these special incentives we hear, too, that these builders will throw into the purchase agreement when you buy one of these, like a free basement?
Who's talking about that, Robin?
Oh, yeah.
So the free basement, how does this work?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me, is there such thing as a free lunch?
You got to watch out for things like that. I mean, because I've worked with lots of builders. I've been an interior designer. I have a degree in interior design as well. Worked with a lot of builders in the past. And especially a lot of the national builders out there, they are always advertising things like, you get a free basement if you buy this house.
Yep, use our mortgage company.
Use our mortgage company. $10,000 closing costs if you sign a purchase agreement in the month of October. Or whatever.
Promotions, great for the consumer, right?
Because that money's built into the contract, and they have the opportunity to do that. They get the discount, right? Nothing is free.
I haven't had a loan with $10,000 in closing costs that I can remember, so I don't know where the $10,000 goes, but that's an expensive closing cost. But then basements are free, so I mean, we're in a world of unicorns and purple flying donkeys. I guess.
That's why it's important to have a real estate agent representing
you. To be clear here, we're licensed realtors, or a lot of us here, Rob and myself, Josh are. We want to work with you builders. So if you're a builder and you're out there listening and you think that we're bashing builders, we're trying to educate the consumer on how your business runs, how we as realtors and mortgage professionals can help the consumer and help you, the builder, get the job done and get an honest, clean transaction where everybody wins. Because we understand the builders have to make money. This is a job.
Right.
But we want the consumers to understand how that process works, so that the consumer can be more informed and make better decisions, so that we don't end up with a glutton or whatever the word is of new construction like we did when the market crashes, right? So if the market comes down. So if you listen to these quick tips, you'll do better in your new construction purchase. Now, 5 tips: location, location, location. Number 2, builder credibility. Number 3, correct financing, which we have to talk about. Number 4, minimize change orders. Number 5, find a qualified agent that will negotiate for you, knows the area, knows the builders in the area, and what to look for. You're listening to the Stockwell Roueche Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with RE/MAX Results.
Josh Roueche, RE/MAX Advantage Plus.
Special guest Ryan Yardley with Marketplace Mortgage, Justin Leach, Felicity Holmes, and Robin Hartle from Home Time, and 12-year host of that, and with RE/MAX Results. When we come back, we will get into more of these tips. About one question I have is the correct financing, so I'll ask Ryan about that. And then the change orders that we didn't talk about. When we come back, we'll be back soon. Nice. We're jamming. Happy Thanksgiving week. Here we go. We're back. The Jason Stockwell, Josh Roueche show on AM 1280 The Patriot Sundays at 10 a.m.
I like how you threw the first names in there in the show. That's perfect.
Yeah, we got to know who we are, right? We're qualified realtors to help you buy new construction is what we're trying to get at today.
Right.
Anyway, before we left, we talked about the 5 tips. We went over those. And our special guests, Ryan Yardley, Marketplace Mortgage, Robin Hartle, RE/MAX Results agent, host of Home Time, former host of Home Time, and Justin Leach with Felicity Homes. And one of the things we talked about in the beginning of the show was to buy or not to buy new construction and why now. And I want to say one quick thing, and it's about motivation. I know you have a lot going on. We talked about it earlier, but there's a lot of motivation on many of the sellers that own new construction homes in the winter that are spec homes. We talked about spec homes. So if you're looking for a time to get somewhat of a deal and come out a little ahead of the curve, buy now, even if it's earlier than you anticipated, because the rates are good right now. The inventory is sitting there. It's colder than the dickens out there, and the houses are being heated, vacant, and you should take advantage of those. And there's some flexibility on those. So the root word of motivation, here we go. The root word of motivation is motive. The definition of motive is, quote, a reason to act, end quote. So therefore, get motivated because the sellers and the holders of these new construction properties are motivated. So let's get you motivated to buy. So so there's my tip of the day. One of the other tips of the day. But back to the other ones: location, builder credibility, correct financing, minimizing change orders, and finding an agent. So Ryan Yardley, Marketplace Mortgage, correct financing. We had a business meeting this week, and we talked about financing a little bit on new construction. And one of the things I always heard people talk about and hear about is the one-time close. Oh, it's all done. One time, everything's done. You don't have to worry about it. Now, we went through that, and there might be a situation where that may not be the best for the consumer. Can you explain why that might be?
Well, yeah, there are pros and cons to a one-time close construction loan. And it's not absolute, so, it may sound like I'm being negative about it, but the pros are that there's a lot of money that can get funded out of the chute, right? So you close, and the real estate agents can get their commission immediately. The builder can get a huge draw up front, and everybody on the project is flush with cash.
So
that's at your expense, by the way. The interest meter is now running in the taxi cab.
Can you real quick just describe a situation of you're out there right now. You're going to buy a home. You're buying on a one-time close. What does that mean? The home hasn't been built then, typically, right?
No,
how does it work?
You go in and you apply for financing. You get approved for say $600,000 is the loan. It's an $800,000 house, $600,000 loan. You get approved for the $600,000, and that whole, or 80% of that amount of money is now made available. You go in and close. You pay closing costs, and that's it. So
one-time close.
You've closed your loan. That
up
loan
front,
up front,
before
and then
construction starts.
So the builder's been paid. The real estate agent's been paid.
The builder hasn't necessarily been paid, but there are draws available. There's money available. A traditional construction loan works somewhat similar. But what happens is that you are now on generally the bank. This loan is on an arm at that time, and you make payments on it. In some cases, you don't. There's a lot of different ones, so it's hard to say that it all works the same way. But the meter's running, interest is brewing, and here's kind of the downside to it. The thing is, you say, oh, great, I'm going to get this new loan. I'm going to have this low interest rate while I'm building, and then I just float to the rate when we're done.
Whatever time period that is.
A lot of these loans
float to the rate, so that just literally means floating.
You're waiting till the home is.
When you're not locking in a rate.
Yeah, you're not locking in a rate in a lot of these cases, and that's where where I don't like that part of it. For me, I think that the best position for the consumer to be in is a position of control and a position of decision. And the thing is, oftentimes when you do a one-time close, you're deciding to go with this lending institution, you're getting this loan, it's on some arm at some great rate, so that's awesome. And you're going to supposedly save money during the construction phase, but what is your end loan going to be? Whenever you're doing this, you really want to ask a lot of hard questions about what is my end loan going to be, because most people building a home at that price point or any new construction, you're building this home, or you're going to stay in it for a long time. Not too many people. I don't recall hearing anyone say, "Well, I'm just going to build this thing and sell it in 2 years." That's unusual. So this is a long-term project. It's your dream home. You're customizing it. You're doing this. You're picking that. You're wanting it to be new, and you want to know what's going to happen. And you don't want to have an interest rate that all of a sudden the bank says, "Well, our rate today now when you need a lock is 0.25% higher than the rate you could get competitively bidding."
And then think about that over a 30-year term, how much extra that extra 0.25% is and what you're going to be paying over that versus saving those costs up front. I think what Ryan's getting to is do your homework.
Yeah.
Make sure you're doing your homework on the financing side of it, making sure that, for the full 30 years, what is my interest going to be? How much interest am I going to pay on on a one-term
and look at all the options, because so you lose control. So on the one-time close. So not to say a one-time close is horrible. Not to say it's bad even. It's probably great for many people, but it may not be great for others. So look at the reasoning behind why you're doing it and call Ryan. Call Ryan Yardley and say, "Hey, I'm thinking of looking at this new construction. They're telling me to do this loan, or I can do this loan." He'll give you straight answers on what to do. He can be reached at 612-850-7500. 612-850-7500. Ryan Yardley, Marketplace Mortgage, happy to help you out with that. Thanks for the tip on that, Ryan. And just look at all the options. Make sure you have all the options instead of just looking at one option. Next question or next topic I wanted to ask Justin Leach about is change orders. Now, I made a bold statement and say eliminate change orders. Now, obviously, we can't eliminate change orders, but minimize. Is it good for the consumer that's building a home to minimize the change orders, or is it something that it's okay? Because I see a lot of change orders, and what it does is it raises the cost of the home, and it also is an opportunity to charge from the builder, right?
Yeah, I would say that it goes both ways, but change orders aren't necessarily a bad thing if you manage them properly.
Because you're going to have them, right?
You're going to have them.
Stuff comes up, right?
Absolutely.
I shouldn't say eliminate. Minimize was the word I should say.
So. And so, when you're looking at your sinks and stuff, you want to try to make sure you're in the budget of that home, kind of. And your builder should be giving you budgets for those sinks. And you should try to – you don't need a $2,000 sink in a $200,000 house.
Are you married? Just want to make sure there. If you don't want to be sleeping on the couch, you might have to get that.
No, but and it is an opportunity for the builder to charge you extra money, because that $2,000 sink suddenly becomes $3,000 because they had to go around and pick it out for you, or just because they need to pay for their new truck or something. So, so the builder can add on.
Don't do that, right?
No, heaven forbid. There are some good change orders out there though too. When you're building a house, you're going to be feeling strapped because of the financial restraints. You're going to say, "Man, I'm already paying $200,000." But then let's say you didn't have a deck on that plan originally. Mm-hmm. You should think about putting a deck on that house, because that's a $10,000 deck, and to put it on the mortgage, it's going to cost you what? $20-$30 a month, maybe.
Yep.
Or 3
Whereas
years,
if you get into your house and then the following summer you want a deck, then you're going to be feeling really
That's
strapped.
where you need a solid team. Now, just so you know, it happened to me this last year where someone was building and they wanted to do a fence, a very nice aluminum fence, a deck, a patio, and all kinds of things. Now, they had to have a good loan officer that knew what the heck they were doing, that could do it, a builder that would do it and work with the lender, and a realtor that could put it all together. So the key is you have to have a good team to do that. So any other tips from change orders or anything else on that, Justin?
Yeah, I got one other one. We just coming back to the real estate agent thing. A good realtor can sometimes get these things for you for free. If they're negotiating the deal, a builder can be kind of a bully. They know all the tricks of the trade, and you might be new to the industry. Whereas a real estate agent, they've been in it for a while. They know what's going
Let's
on.
clarify it. Qualified new construction real estate
Yep,
agent.
we'll get into that in a second. But the builder might not include gutters, or they might not include that deck, and that agent can go to that builder and say, "No, you need to include that deck to get this deal."
We've been through it. Realtors have been through it. Rob and Josh, myself, have been through it. We know what to look for. When you're wowed by the kitchen, when you're wowed by the staging of the model, when you're wowed by the paintings,
We're
and
there
how it
to
looks,
help, right?
you may not notice that it
Right.
doesn't have a garage door opener,
Or
that
gutters.
it doesn't have gutters,
Right.
or that there's a lot of other things that it may not include that you think you're getting, you may not be getting. So those are some tips.
And those are crazy less expensive to add in now while the workers are on
Absolutely.
site than to, but I'll buy all that stuff later.
Yeah. Oh.
That's not in the financing. It's not in this. It's not in that. And you got to get all these people to come out, and there's
You
trip
gotta
charges
buy
and all
it.
that
You got to
crap.
have it unless you're a DIY or unless you want to watch one of Robin Hartle's old shows about how to install a garage door
Believe
opener.
me,
Right?
I have boxes and boxes of VHS tapes I can lend you.
So very valuable information for you out there if you're considering new construction. Please contact Justin Leach and call him if you have any questions about your project. 715-441-7922, 715-441-7922. You're listening to the Stockwell Roueche Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with RE/MAX Results.
Josh Roueche, RE/MAX Advantage
With
Plus.
Justin Leach, Felicity Holmes, Ryan Yardley, Marketplace Mortgage, and Robin Hartle, RE/MAX Results. We'll be back soon. Weird Al, right? This is,
Happy holidays.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving, folks. Happy Turkey Day. Feliz el Dia de las Gracias, I believe is what they
Nice
say.
job. Let's put that one
But
out.
anyway, we're back. The Stockwell Roueche Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with RE/MAX Results.
Josh Roueche, RE/MAX Advantage Plus.
If you don't ask, you don't get, right? So Robin and I on break there were talking about you have a lot of control. You as a buyer, if you're considering new construction, have a lot of control. So if you don't ask, you don't get. So Robin, you want to get into a little bit about that?
Yeah, you have a lot of power when it comes to walking, especially these inventory homes that are out there that these builders are trying to get rid of, in the dead of winter.
Yep.
When you walk into an inventory home and you see something you don't like, you were looking at the fireplace and you see that stone and you say, yeah, you know what? I'd like tile instead of stone. Don't be afraid to tell them, I would like that changed. I'd buy this home if that was tile. I would buy this home if you replace that window in the back with a patio door.
So don't be afraid to ask, because the builders may say, this is it, black or white. Am I right, Justin?
That's right. And that's one of the reasons you need a qualified
Right.
agent that can stand behind you on new construction.
And be behind you kind of as your...
Yep.
It's like it's
It's
your
an
biggest
enforcer.
asset.
Yeah.
It's like your biggest asset that you're going to put money into. You want to have some representation on it, just
Yep.
like in the
And
legal.
can
If you go,
negotiate
if
for
you go
with
to
the builder.
Yeah.
I've
Through a
can't tell
divorce,
how many
you gotta have
times you
someone
go in
represent
and the builder will say, this is it, A or B. And you're like, well, we want D.
Yep.
We can't do it. Well, and then you need some, because if you just fold and don't fight or have someone to fight for you,
Right.
and a lot of times the builder has a nice way of putting it in front of you, the consumer, but they'll talk directly to the agent and you'll be able to get down to the core of what's going on
Right.
there. So don't be afraid to ask. Now, if you want a qualified agent to help you, if you're considering buying new construction, you can contact Robin Hartle directly. If you like her, which I don't know
mean
anymore.
if
she's got
you
a great
like
smile.
her.
She's prettier than we are.
Or
so.
if you want Josh or myself to help, we're happy to help as well. So we'll give you our information later. Robin Hartle, you can call her at 612-790-4385, 612-790-4385, robinhartle.com, ROBINHARTL.com.
Yes.
Correct? And TalkTwinCitiesRealEstate.com is how you reach myself, Jason Stockwell, and Josh Roueche. TalkTwinCitiesRealEstate.com, all spelled out, TalkTwinCitiesRealEstate.com. We'll be happy to help you and fight for you on new construction, give you tips that you can do, and we'll put you in touch with great contacts like Ryan Yardley and Justin Leach as part of the team on many of the things that we can do for you. So if you don't ask, you don't get. We went into that. What are some other things that we can give for consumers as
Well,
tips?
I think based off last week's show, we talked about inventory. We talked about how limited our inventory is and how new home construction is going to be 40% of our business moving forward in the next, say, 5 years. Let's talk about dirt. Let's talk about areas of where you're seeing new home construction and the lack of in the Twin
So
Cities.
the location, where to buy,
Right.
or what are you considering? I'm seeing it in the cities, in the inner circle. You see teardowns, single site teardowns. Not a lot of developments going on there. And as you get out, you've seen developments come up all over the place
Oh,
that weren't there
gosh.
before, right?
Yep. Yeah, on all the fringe cities, pretty much outside of the 494, 694 loop, there's a ton of developments going on, and there's a lot to come too. I try to hunt around for developers, once a month, and there's some real big ones going into the Woodbury area, the Maple Grove
Really?
area.
Or there's still some land to do it.
Yep,
Right.
there. Some of them are 350 lot developments, so there are lots to come, and so.
Well, that's good because I think right now with what we experienced last winter is we had a really slow part of our business was really slow last year because we have that move up buyer that we had such a hard winter that wanted to actually list their house
And buy
and
after at the
buy,
same
but there was
time.
just such limited inventory on that housing side on those price points for that move up.
Talk to your builders, talk to your agents. I know I'm flexible on this and we do this. If you have a home that you have to sell before you buy, you might be able to work a deal out. Don't be afraid.
Right.
Again, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Right.
You might be able to get a situation where the builder may buy your home. I've seen that happen a lot.
Yep.
In where I live in Edina, they have where they tear down the home that you're buying a tear down or new construction, and they'll buy your home if it's in the right situation, or they may hold it and rent it for you, and you can collect the rents. And I mean, there's many ways
There's
to
a
work
different-
around
yeah.
it instead of
It's a
saying,
creative
get your
thing.
home sold. We're
Right.
we're inflexible, and then you have to buy after that, and you then you're limited
Right.
to the marketing
Right.
and the timing that you have to do, as Josh talked about, and then you're not able to take advantage of the season right now, the low season, the slow season, where you might be able to get a better deal.
Again, that's where you need an agent to help you negotiate those deals with a builder.
There's some creative things out there that you can do that
Know your
you may not
marketplace,
think
like
about.
just like we talked about last week.
Right.
And then as far as I've seen it in Wisconsin, their new construction. I had people looking this last summer in Somerset and Richmond area for new construction. That area is coming up big time because you can actually get a nice house for under $200,000 or around $200,000, right? Whereas in Inver Grove, Woodbury, you're going to be paying more than that for
That's
the
right.
same house.
Yeah, and we're getting that bridge put in pretty soon.
The
too.
bridge is coming in. Yes.
Yeah.
When is that going to be done?
2016, I think. Spring,
2016?
I believe. Yeah.
Really?
But it's not too far away.
Yeah,
It
no,
sounds
that's
like a
great.
long
So
ways,
that you'll see that. You see
Maple Grove, Rogers,
Plymouth,
right,
and
in between
Rogers.
there.
I mean, it's happening all over.
Yep.
I'm sure you've seen it. I came in from a trip this summer on a flight, and I looked down, and we were coming into the cities, and they were in the suburbs, and you could see developments. Then you got into the city, and I saw sticks all over with
Right.
new builds on single sites. So it's happening. It's out there, and there's many benefits to new construction from owning it. As far as the energy efficiency in a new home and things like that. So
Well,
Yeah,
we
you're seeing-
haven't even jumped into that yet. And I know we
yeah.
were talking about the energy
Yep.
efficient
Yep.
of
Oh,
what's
I have
going
a
on in homes
question
right
for
now.
Justin.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Fireplace, or not fireplace, sprinkler systems.
Oh, yeah.
What's the deal with that so we can be clear with our consumers? The one of the new changes I heard was the basement, unfinished basements. You have to have fire protection and get into that. And then the second thing is a sprinkler. Now, that passed, that went through legislation. It was being lobbied against by realtors and builders, correct?
Yep.
But
Yep.
then the legislature and the governor signed it into law,
Right.
correct?
Yep.
So explain that.
So, again, the unfinished basements, and then especially the larger houses, they do require these sprinkler systems now, kind of like what you'd see in a commercial building. They're a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. There's these little caps that go onto them. But these sprinkler systems, they can cost a lot of money. I mean, we're talking a minimum of probably $7,000 or $8,000, and then upwards to $30,000 depending on how big the house is. And that's additional cost onto your house.
Right.
So
So
that
that
anything over-
applies to certain square footage size. I believe it's 4,300.
yeah,
300.
yep,
Or more. So you're going to see a lot of 4,250 houses
yeah,
being built, right?
that's
And,
right. Yeah,
And a lot of homes are going green now too with the energy
Exactly,
efficiency.
yep.
So, and I know the government has stepped in a lot.
There's
on
a
that as
lot
well.
of benefits to that with the green homes and the energy efficiency they get from them that save you a ton of money in utility costs when that can be something that you can't control. You know, you can't
Exactly.
control the utility costs in the coldness and how cold the winters are.
Well, at least we didn't get 70 or what was it, 60 something inches in Buffalo.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I heard
that's,
about that.
That's
People are
crazy.
Dying.
That would have been
horrible.
take the rest of the year off. That's
Right.
what it
Yeah.
would have been.
Yeah.
So we are wrapping up the New Homes Construction Show with Robin Hartle, Ryan Yardley with Marketplace Mortgage, and Justin Leach with Felicity Homes. Next week, we will be talking a little bit more about new construction, homes, what's happening, and it'll be kind of a holiday show as well, even though this is the the week before Thanksgiving. But
one thing at the holidays when you gather with friends and family, everyone's around talking stories about what's happening in their lives. And if you know someone shows up at the holidays with you
Great point, Ryan.
that could use some of this advice, or if you know somebody who's looking to build or do a home purchase in the upcoming near future after the new year, make sure you let them know about these guys. There's a lot of information in this room. Every time I get together with these folks, it's always information and story sharing, and there's always good things that come out.
You get that at all the dirt at the family functions right, Thanksgiving. So good and bad, I'm sure. So we'll see you next week. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
Josh Roueche, Remax Advantage Plus.
Have a great Thanksgiving. Happy Turkey Day.
Happy holidays, everyone.
And remember, love yourself and love others.